From a rising rap star slash singer to a famous love triangle, a late-night incident that rocked the industry and sent Tory Lanez to prison for 10 years.
I was shot in both of my feet.
But now he's been stabbed behind bars, and new claims of a cover-up, witness tampering, and hidden evidence are raising serious questions. Was Tory Lanez set up?
I didn't want them to kill any of us or shoot any of us. So I just said, I stepped on glass.
No DNA, no fingerprints, missing bullet fragments.
And the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z. Yes.
In this episode of Shadows of Hollywood, we dive into his explosive rise, the infamous party with Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey.
I ain't tell the police what happened immediately right then because I didn't want to die.
The trial that gripped the world, and the shocking launch of a website claiming to prove his innocence. Did the justice system fail? Did Megan's camp hide the truth? To understand how it all got this far, we need to go back to where it all began. Born Daystar Peterson in 1992, Tory Lanez was raised in Toronto and later Florida after his mother passed away. His life was far from stable, moving between cities, battling homelessness, and getting expelled from schools. But these hardships shaped his raw, emotional music style. Tory taught himself how to rap and sing, using YouTube and mixtapes to build his name. It was in 2015 that everything changed. You see, Tory Lanez began his music career independently when he released his hit single Say It. The song exploded, which later landed him a deal with Benny Blanco's Mad Love Records, a joint venture with Interscope Records in 2015. This partnership facilitated the release of his debut studio album I Told You in 2016. Soon after, tracks like Love and his Chicks Tape series solidified him as one of the most versatile artists in hip-hop and R&B. However, by 2020, Lanez had fulfilled his contractual obligations and chose to part ways with Interscope, opting to continue his career as an independent artist under his own label, One Umbrella. As an independent artist, Tory capitalized on owning his music masters, allowing him to retain a larger share of his music revenue. His independent releases such as Daystar, which came out in 2020, and Alone at Prom in 2021 contributed to his income through music sales, streaming royalties, and touring. Additionally, his YouTube channel boasting over 2.7 billion views has been a significant source of revenue, with estimates suggesting it generated around $8 million in pre-tax earnings. With success came high-profile collaborations and lavish lifestyles. Tory was everywhere, from Drake beefs to quarantine Instagram concerts that broke records and even flaunting his close friendship with R&B singer Chris Brown. But behind the scenes, he was in a hush-hush relationship with Australian rapper Iggy Azalea. In 2022, rumors swirled about them dating after she was seen attending his court hearings. Soon after, they were seen spending time together, including at a July dinner in Miami. Paparazzi photos and media reports hinted at a possible romantic relationship. While neither confirmed their relationship publicly, their chemistry was obvious. By early 2023, reports confirmed the breakup. Some said Iggy wanted to distance herself before things got too messy. Others claimed Tory was still entangled with other women, including one major figure we'll talk about next. The infamous night that changed everything. July 12th, 2020. Tory Lanez, Megan, her best friend Kelsey, and others attended a pool party at Kylie Jenner's mansion in the Hollywood Hills. What should have been a fun night spiraled out of control. Reports say everyone was drinking heavily. Rumors claim Tory felt jealous about Megan and Kylie getting too close. They were eventually asked to leave, and the car ride that followed would become a headline for years. At around 4 a.m., shots were fired. Megan was seen limping away later, telling police she'd stepped on glass. But days later on Instagram Live, she dropped a bombshell.
I'm in the front seat. This nigga in the back seat. I get out the car. I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This nigga from out the back seat of the car started shooting me.
According to prosecutors, an argument broke out in the SUV. Megan stepped out and Tory allegedly shouted, "Dance B," before firing 5 times at her feet. Megan underwent surgery and spent 4 days in the hospital. Tory denied everything and claimed his DNA was not found on the weapon. This incident not only divided fans, but also the entire music industry. By December 2022, when the trial finally began, the case had transformed into something far more complex than a simple act of violence. It was now a lightning rod for culture, gender, race, and celebrity. But inside the courtroom, things were just as chaotic as they were online. Tory Lanez faced 3 serious felony charges: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, carrying a loaded weapon in a vehicle, and negligent discharge of a firearm. He pled not guilty, and due to a strict gag order, kept completely silent as the media frenzy swirled around him. Megan, on the other hand, took the stand and broke down in tears. She described the trauma, the betrayal, and the brutal backlash she'd faced since naming Tory as her shooter. But her testimony was soon overshadowed by one of the trial's biggest shockers. Kelsey Harris, Megan's former best friend and one of the only witnesses inside the SUV that night, was called to testify. But instead of confirming what she'd previously told prosecutors, she shocked the courtroom by pleading the fifth, refusing to answer key questions. Her sudden silence sent social media into a tailspin. What was she hiding? Had something happened between her and Megan? Had she made a deal? No one could say for sure. And that wasn't the only problem. From the start, Megan's version of events had inconsistencies. She initially told police she'd stepped on glass. Later, she admitted she'd been trying to protect everyone in the car, fearing police violence.
I didn't tell the police nothing because I didn't want us to get in no more trouble than what we was already about to get in.
But some questioned, why lie about being shot if you were the victim? Her public statements didn't always line up. At one point, she claimed she saw Tory firing at her. Later, she said she didn't see who pulled the trigger.
It's like he was standing on the thing that you could stand on.
Like a step rail or
Yeah.
something of the car? Because it was an SUV, the car
Right.
you guys were in, right? So as the door is open, and he's
It's like
kind
he
of
has to have like 1 foot inside of the car.
Yeah.
And he's like shooting over the door.
over the door. He's leaning over. And then when he's shooting over the door, you have a clear line of sight.
See it.
And you
Yes.
see it's
Yes.
Tory, and he's holding the gun shooting. Okay. You
Saw
actually
him
saw him holding the
yes.
gun? Was anybody else standing next to him, or how was his positioning on that?
So it's the security guard driving, me and the passenger. Kelsey is behind me and Tory is behind the driver. So like he had to get over her to even shoot at me.
So is he out of the vehicle, or is it from
So
inside?
you know how
the
you
car?
can like stand out of the car, like you're
Yeah.
like standing over the door. That's how he
Okay,
was
so
shooting.
like the door's open,
Yes.
and then he would be standing in the threshold, kind of almost.
But like
on-
over the window
Okay, but leaning over the window. So he's actually still
in the car.
in the car, but
Yeah.
kind of. Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Kelsey's texts seemed to blame Tory. But in court, she contradicted herself, cited memory issues, and claimed anxiety and alcohol blurred her recollection. Then came the forensic evidence. Tory's DNA wasn't found on the weapons magazine, and the results on the gun itself were inconclusive. That left the jury with conflicting stories, questionable memories, and a whole lot of doubt. Still, prosecutors framed Tory as reckless, dangerous, and violent, claiming he shouted, "Dance B," before opening fire, a line only Megan claimed to have heard. Outside the courtroom, the public was just as divided. The internet split into 2 camps. Team Megan and Free Tory. Megan's supporters said she was a brave survivor, a black woman telling her truth in a world that constantly doubts her. But Tory's fans saw a different story, a man being falsely accused, his career destroyed by inconsistent testimony and media bias. When the verdict came down, guilty on all 3 charges, the shockwaves were instant. Cheers erupted from Megan's supporters. Tory's fans cried injustice. His father exploded in rage outside the courthouse, accusing the system of corruption.
It's not over. God does not lose. Never. And even though we've come to this juncture, trust me, you will see that our God does not fail.
This is not the
I
first
know
time.
that this is wickedness. In the LAPD's office, tell me how there's no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Rock Nation, you will crumble. I am an apostle of God, and you will know who I am.
That's right. Say that.
The internet became a war zone. But beneath all the hashtags and headlines, one thing was undeniable. The case had exposed deep fractures in how we view truth, loyalty, fame, and justice. And for everyone involved, nothing would ever be the same again. In August 2023, Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in prison. His team argued he was being unfairly punished. Tory spoke out on Instagram shortly after sentencing, "I have always maintained my innocence, and I always will." Despite the verdict, Tory's legal team pointed to inconsistencies, including the lack of DNA evidence tying him directly to the weapon. Megan called it a victory for every woman who has ever been blamed for a violent crime. Tory Lanez was sent to the California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi, a high-security prison known for housing violent offenders. Despite his circumstances, Tory kept creating. He recorded music through phone calls, releasing tracks under a series titled Prison Tapes, and even dropping an album called Peterson in 2025. But then came the most horrifying moment of his incarceration so far. On May 12, 2025, around 7:20 a.m., Tory was violently struck 14 times by another inmate. He sustained serious injuries to his back, face, chest, and head. Prison staff responded immediately, providing first aid and activating emergency services. But due to the severity of his injuries, he was airlifted to a hospital in California. He was placed on a breathing apparatus, and for a moment, fans feared the worst. The attacker was later identified as Santino Casio, a man already serving life in prison for the second-degree unaliving of his 13-year-old girlfriend. In a surprise twist, Casio spoke out publicly from behind bars in an interview with TMZ. According to him, this was an act of self-defense. Casio claimed that he'd heard rumors circulating through the prison walls, that there was a bounty on Tory Lanez's head. So, when he later ran into Tory and noticed what he described as a suspicious lump in his pocket, Casio says he panicked. Believing it might be a weapon, he launched the attack first. He told TMZ he wasn't trying to unalive Tory by striking him 14 times. He just wanted to protect himself. Casio also says he didn't walk away untouched, claiming he suffered a wound to his own leg, which he believes proves Tory was armed. Tory's legal team confirmed the incident on Instagram shortly after, stating, "He is breathing on his own and in good spirits." While the incident was still under internal investigation, as reports suggest it was gang-related, Tory was transferred to another correctional facility for his safety. In May 2025, a press conference held in Los Angeles reignited controversy around Tory Lanez's conviction for the 2020 incident of Megan Thee Stallion. The event was led by Unite the People, a non-profit organization focused on criminal justice reform, and came just days after Lanez was reportedly hurt multiple times in prison. Speaking on Lanez's behalf was attorney Walter Roberts, who introduced a sworn affidavit from Bradley James, a former bodyguard for Kelsey Harris. James claimed he overheard Harris admitting she was the one who fired the weapon. Sunstar Peterson, Tory's father, shared emotional details about his son's condition following the incident, calling the attack unprovoked and demanding his release. Caesar McDowell, CEO of Unite the People, opened the conference with a bold statement. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. As Tory Lanez sat behind bars, serving a 10-year sentence for his alleged involvement in the 2020 incident with Megan Thee Stallion, a new twist reignited public interest and controversy. In May 2025, Tory's legal team officially launched a website called 36hourslater.com, claiming it contained suppressed evidence that could prove his innocence. The site, built as a digital counterattack against the verdict, presents a trove of materials: unreleased audio, video footage, police body cam clips, and witness interviews. And what's inside left both fans and legal experts divided. Let's break it all down. One of the most explosive revelations is an audio recording from Sean Kelly, a bystander and independent eyewitness. In this recording, Kelly claims he saw a woman believed to be Kelsey Harris firing a weapon, not Tory.
The doors of the Escalade open and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to go. My son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't want
and it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically, the car stopped. The girl in the back got out, started screaming and shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously. That's why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming. She starts hitting the girl. The girl on the side, her feet come out. She starts to kick the girl away. Passenger. They get out. They start fighting here. They start fighting. The driver comes round and tries to sort of break it up. It gets a bit more violent. And between them, the girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat.
Where's the shorter black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
This directly contradicts the prosecution's central narrative that Tory pulled the trigger. Kelly's account, while known during the trial, was not given significant weight. Tory's team argues that this omission played a major role in the wrongful outcome. Then there's the body cam footage from the night of the incident. In it, Megan tells responding officers that she stepped on glass and that a cut from her right foot was from a couple of days earlier. Not that she had been wounded by the weapon.
Move back inside my voice. Move back. Back.
Oh, she put herself.
Okay. So how did that happen to you?
Glass.
Glass? Where?
Where we were coming from.
And so what happened with you were just walking by stepping on glass. I have another cut on my right foot. I just stepped on glass the other day. So you were already hurt when you got into the room. And then at that point, your friends were running down and running to the hospital. Sarge, is this one in custody or is she not? She's in custody.
For right now, she's in custody.
Okay.
Because she's not a victim of a shooting, but she's in a car that did a bit of a shooting, right? So, yeah.
Hold your hands up. Okay? Come out, people guys here with their hands up, hands up. All right, come back. It's right down in Florida, Mark. Yeah. It's right down in Florida, Mark.
This discrepancy was brought up during the trial, but Tory's team argued it deserved more scrutiny, especially when paired with the chaotic nature of that night and the presence of alcohol and heightened emotions. On Instagram Live, she later claimed she lied to protect Tory because she didn't want the police to know there was a weapon in the car.
I'm scared. All this shit going on with the police is shooting muckers for anything. The police was literally killing black people for no mucking reason. Soon as the police tell us all get out the car, the police is really aggressive. You think I'm about to tell the police that we, niggas, us black people, got a gun in the car? You want me to tell the laws that we got a gun in the car so they can shoot all of us up? Nigga, I'm scared. It's a fucking helicopter over us and some more shit.
However, the police did actually know about the weapon in the car, which was why she was in handcuffs.
Sarge, is this one in custody or is she not? She's in custody.
For right now, she's in custody.
Okay.
Because she's not a victim of a shooting, but she's in a car that did a bit of a shooting, right? So, yeah.
Perhaps most critically, according to the website, Tory Lanez's DNA wasn't on the weapon involved. For his defense, that wasn't just a detail. It was their biggest argument. The so-called smoking gun, more like the missing link. If his DNA wasn't on the weapon, they ask, how could the jury be sure he fired it? Additional footage on the site shows Tory speaking about Megan in concerned terms, allegedly referring to her as his girlfriend and expressing deep worry about her condition that night.
Address that the incident occurred, the shooting happened?
Nah, I don't know the address, bro. I was just trying to help my girlfriend. 1 second, bro.
Stay right here for me, bro.
Mego.
Hey, we got an ambulance coming for her.
Okay?
To the defense, this portrays Tory as a worried companion, not a violent aggressor. Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer, Alex Spiro, dismissed the website as nothing more than a desperate PR stunt. He stated that repackaging old evidence doesn't change the facts established in court. In his words, Tory's legal team is trying to sway public opinion with information the jury already saw and rejected. Still, the launch of 36HoursLater.com has reignited debate in the public sphere, especially among Tory's supporters, who believe the case deserves a second look. So is this a case of new evidence, or simply a repackaging of rejected arguments? Is Tory Lanez truly guilty, or was he a scapegoat in a situation clouded by fame, ego, and betrayal? A rising star, silenced behind bars, a woman wounded, her truth debated, and a case that feels less like justice and more like theater. Tory Lanez may be locked away, but the questions refuse to die down. New evidence, twisted loyalties, a stabbing in the dark. Was this justice or just a performance for the public eye? In Hollywood's darkest corners, the truth often whispers, never shouts, and sometimes it's buried on purpose. Thanks for watching Shadows of Hollywood. If this story left you unsettled, maybe it should. Like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, who do you believe?